Good morning. Today we're going to do something special. It's my favorite. I've watched a ton of videos, cooking shows, and a lot of friends that cook. And I've gotten little pieces of recipe from everybody. And what I've decided is that it's true what they say, the only thing that white people cook better than black people is crystal meth. So since this morning we're making soul food, we're going to stick with my black folks friends' recipes. So I'm making Instapot mac and cheese. So it's a take on the traditional. It's super fast, it's super delicious, and it's a one-pot thing. So in my Instapot, I've got 2 cups of elbow macaroni and 2 cups of water. Set it on the pressure setting for 4 minutes. That's it. The second that it goes off and starts beeping, hit cancel and release your pressure. Let it sit for 5 minutes. So we've done that. We let it sit for 5 minutes. So you shouldn't even need to drain the macaroni. If there's a little bit of water, I didn't let it sit quite for 5 minutes, but if you let it sit for 5 minutes, it absorbs all the rest of the water. So it should come out kind of looking like that. I'm gonna drain this really fast. Into this. The first mistake that most people make with mac and cheese is they use butter. Don't use butter. Butter causes the macaroni to kind of deep fry. So first thing we're going to put in is I've got 8 ounces of Velveeta cheese. I hate Velveeta cheese, but it's the only thing that makes mac and cheese taste right. So you're going to break it into little chunks. You can also use the slices or the Velveeta shreds. Those are fine. We're going to use a half a cup of mozzarella, a half a cup of mild cheddar, I'm going to do a quarter cup of Gruyere or any nutty cheese. Gruyere is my favorite. Of all the mac and cheese recipes that I've done and tried, I took the best parts out of all of them, combined them into a fast method. All right, so about a quarter cup of Gruyere. And about a quarter cup of Parmesan or Asiago. Any of the really hard Italian cheeses will work fine. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, not that much. Break it into little teeny tiny pieces. This melts the slowest. All right, at this point, you put your mac and cheese back in your Instapot and put it on saute. All right, now for our wet ingredients. We're gonna use, and this is gonna be enough mac and cheese to serve like 8 people probably. We're gonna use a quarter of a cup of sour cream. 1 can of evaporated milk. You don't have to use evaporated milk if you don't have it in your house. You can substitute it. I use half evaporated milk and then half heavy whipping cream. So we're going to use three-quarters of a cup. And this is a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. All right, you can use a teaspoon of yellow mustard, just the cheap ghetto mustard. You can use the booshie stuff if you want. It doesn't really make any difference in it. All right, we are using a teaspoon of granulated garlic. We are using a tablespoon. This is where you make it hot or not hot. So you have to use some hot sauce, it won't make it spicy. So I'm just using Frank's red hot sauce. So you use about 2 tablespoons. If you like it spicy, use like a habanero sauce. You can use Tabasco or whatever you like. And then regular old garlic salt, we're gonna use a tablespoon. And a teaspoon of onion powder. And a teaspoon of paprika. I don't have any paprika, so I'm out. And then a half a teaspoon of scent. It's basically MSG, but scent, or if you have the Save-On flavor packets, those work great. All right, just give it a quick stir. It should look really wet and watery. Give that a look in there again. All right, so real wet, looks real sloppy and soupy. That's exactly the way you want it. So we're gonna do a lot of black pepper. Now I'm using a grinder, so probably 15 cranks on the grinder, maybe 20. The equivalent of maybe a teaspoon and a half. You can do that part to your taste. So you've got your oven preset at 375. And you've got 2 options with mac and cheese. You can either have it creamy and delicious, or you can have it baked. So the only difference is obviously the baking part. I like to serve ours, that's why our kitchen's a mess. It's early in the morning. It's our breakfast buffet at our bed and breakfast here. So I like to serve it baked because it's prettier. So you're gonna leave it in here just a couple of minutes until the cheese just starts to melt. It doesn't have to melt all the way. It should start to get a little stringy like that. That's looking pretty good. So if you're not gonna bake it, if you're just gonna leave it like this, you just let it melt all the way and then leave it alone, pull it off shut the Instant Pot off, and take the container out, set it on the counter for about 5 minutes, and it starts to set up a little bit, and it's real stringy and delicious and gooey. But like I said, we're gonna take it up a notch. So put it in an oven-safe baking container. So, and then you go in and salt it with some more cheese. Lots of cheese, maybe another cup. Sprinkled on the top. Gives you a really nice crust. And since it melts pretty quick, it kind of seals the mac in there so that it doesn't dry out. A lot of recipes were calling to put egg yolks in here, like 5 egg yolks. I couldn't taste the difference. The only thing it does is it kind of makes it like cakey, so that when you take it out, it cuts like cake instead of gooey. We like our mac and cheese gooey in the South, so we're gonna go with that. All right, so that's about what it's gonna look like. And we throw it into the oven, 375, for about 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, because it'll, depending on your oven, it may brown faster. All right, we'll come back in a couple minutes and I'll show you what the finished product looks like, and we'll give it a taste test. Okay, so we baked at 375 for about 18 to 20 minutes, and this is what she looks like. So you've got a nice crust on top. My oven didn't cook it super evenly, but once you get inside of it, it's creamy, it's gooey. It's the most delicious macaroni and cheese I've ever had in my life, and I've eaten a lot of macaroni and cheese. So you want to get a big old serving of that crusty cheese, get a big old hunk of the underneath. So you can do lots of variations on this. So just before you put it in the oven, just before you put cheese on top, you can add in chunks of lobster, you can add in bacon, you can add in whatever you want, hamburger, make it a meal. But you wait until just before you put it in the oven, mix that stuff in there pre-cooked, toss it in, put your cheese and bake it. It's so good. Lobster mac and cheese, can't recommend it enough. All right, baby, we're good. Mac and cheese, so